All right. So the second part for today's lesson is going to be the trapezoid mid-segment theorem. So first thing that I'm going to do is actually label this trapezoid that we're given so that's easier to talk about. I'm going to go from the top left and do A, go across B, down C, and across D. So what the trapezoid mid-segment theorem states is that the mid-segment of a trapezoid is equal to half the length of the sum of the bases. So the first thing when we're kind of taking this theorem apart and thinking about what does it mean, the first thing that we have to think about is what are the bases of a trapezoid? So the bases of a trapezoid are going to be the two sides that are parallel to one another. So in this case, the bases are going to be AB and CD. Then we have this term mid-segment. We've heard it before, but we haven't talked about it yet with quadrilaterals. So the mid-segment is the segment that connects two midpoints on a shape. So any shape, any segment, anything like that. So in this case, what we would need to know is we would need to know the midpoints of each of these sides. So if I create a midpoint of AD, I'm going to call it point E. And if I create a midpoint of BC, and I call it F, the mid segment would be that segment connecting E and F. So really what this theorem states is that EF is equal to 1/2 the length of AB plus the length of CD. So how in the world does this relate to kind of what we're doing? And let's take a look at this first example. Find EH. So if I'm looking at this trapezoid that's EFGH with a mid-segment of XY, and I know it's a mid-segment because each side has two congruent parts, I'm going to know that my mid-segment, XY, is equal to 1/2 the length of my two bases added together. So 1/2 of FG plus EH. Okay, so XY I know is 16.5. And I also know that FG is 25. So I'm going to substitute those two values into the equation that I know. And now I can go ahead and simplify, and I'm going to try to solve for EH. So what I can do here is, since I know that my mid-segment is half of the length of the sum of the bases, if I multiply both sides by 2, I'm going to get that 33 is equal to the sum of my bases, so my 25 plus my EH. And then I could subtract 25 from both sides. And I would get that EH is equal to 8. And if I wanted to double check and make sure that this was correct, I could look and I could say, okay, if EH is 8, 8 plus 25 is 33, and half of 33 is 16.5, so I'm good to go. So if you're someone that doesn't like to do kind of this algebra setup, it's fine if you're kind of just looking at and reasoning through, but I'm going to go ahead and keep doing kind of more of this algebra setup throughout. So now I have FGJK, and I'm looking for X, which is the length of FG. So I know that my mid-segment LH is equal to half of the length of FG plus KJ. So if my mid-segment is 18.6, so my mid-segment is 18.6, that means that the sum of my bases, I'm going to go ahead and substitute these values in, has to be equal to twice that amount. So that means the sum of my bases has to be equal to 37.2. So that's going to be X plus my 23.6. So the sum of my bases is 37.2. One of my bases is 23.6. So that means my other base would have to be 13.6. And again, let's double check that. 23.6 plus 13.6 is 37.2, and then half of 37.2 is 18.6. So when I check this, it does work. And the very last one, I'm looking to find X, but in this case, X isn't just one of the sides, it's actually a part of multiple sides. So my first base is X plus 3, my second base is 4X plus 7, and my mid-segment is 15. So if I went to set this up, I would have my mid-segment of 15 is equal to 1/2 the sum of my bases, so X plus 3 plus 4X plus 7. So the first thing I would want to do is combine like terms. So I'm going to get 15 equals 1/2. I have 4X plus X, so I have a 5X. And then I have a 7 plus 3, so plus 10. So the sum of my bases is is twice the length of my mid-segment. So that means my mid-segment, if I multiply both sides by 2, the sum of my bases should be 30. So 30 equals 5X plus 10. So now I could subtract 10 from both sides and get that 20 equals 5X. Divide both sides by 5 and find that X equals 4. So that is the triangle mid-segment theorem. So that is all that you guys need to know about the triangle mid-segment theorem. So on that worksheet that you guys should be working on today and tomorrow, there is going to be a few problems that you will have to use this theorem on. But please, please, please remember to come into the office hours for either me or Ms. Stalitz. If you guys have questions on the notes, if you guys need help with the homework, anything like that, we are more than happy to help, or we're just more than happy to just see you guys because we haven't seen you for a while. So just let us know what we can do to best support you guys. All right, have a good rest of your day.